Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Mike Easis is here. T-Roy's in the house. What up, T?
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good.
Excellent.
Doing good, yeah. I hope. I was really bummed. I was watching the show the other day of us, and I'm just clearing my throat all the time, and I don't know what to make of it because I'm not doing that all day. I don't know if it's something down here.
Nerves, probably.
It's not nerves, the microphone, but I'm like, God, I look like shit. I sound like shit.
I think you look handsome as shit.
So do you and E.
Thank you. You like this?
People can see what's going on here. I feel like the odd
How
man out.
embarrassing.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
I just picked this out of the closet and he shows up wearing this. The fuck? What are the
You're
odds?
not going to wear the uniform? Come on, this is a show uniform, the new show uniform.
They don't make it in my size. Otherwise,
I mean, Troy's is.
Pretty much one size fits all, I think.
yeah,
That's all you
it
get.
won't fit me.
It's a
I
little
mean,
baggy
mine was
on you.
extra large, I think, in the end, honestly.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they have a 4X that I can fit into?
Maybe.
If they don't, I can't.
This is
can't pull it
America.
off.
They're used to the standard clientele.
Yeah, maybe. What is that? The Joker costume?
It did end up being, yes, it's the Joker costume in the
I
end.
was just wearing this around the house. How come you're wearing it, E? My house jacket.
Right, your smoking jacket. That
Hell
just
yeah.
came from my dance performance, so I got my bow tie
How's that
on
going?
and
You
stuff.
doing well?
Well, this was it today. This was the filming of the thing and stuff.
Oh, it
so,
was. So it's over?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go to the viewing party in a few weeks, but this was the thing.
Yeah.
It kind of, you know what, for me, I bet for most of the dancers that do this, they probably like it because they feel like it's less pressure. It's not in front of the big stage and the crowd.
Oh, they probably would want to.
I fucking hate it. I didn't like it
Really?
because like I like being in front of people.
So do they. The dancers do too.
The dancers do, but I'm talking about the other contestants, though.
yeah.
Oh,
Like, for
yeah,
the other
maybe.
contestants, they probably are like, "Oh, this is good." There's not 200 people in
Takes
here
that pressure
watching
off.
you and
Yeah,
stuff. And
yeah.
for me, we had a few things in our thing. We had a few props, and it's like it was fine, but I would have I like being in front of people, so I would have liked to have done the stuff
Hamming it up
like
for the crowd.
Yeah.
Sure,
So,
sure.
but it went all right. The only thing that sucked too is that because we're filming it, they had to change an angle. Like we came in and they were set up a way that we hadn't been practicing. Dude, I even today spent an hour. I mean, if my neighbors, I've always wondered what they thought, but I sat there for an hour out of my driveway practicing the dance.
Oh my God!
by
Why would you do that
myself.
in your driveway and not
'Cause
just in your bedroom?
Well, you need
gotta
room.
have some room,
You gotta have
yeah.
room, man. It's a dance and stuff. And so, but it's something that
What your neighbors must think about.
I mean,
you.
I was just out there going, kind of like,
Better than most of the shit he does.
and shit like that.
Oh my
So-
God!
But I was just saying, like, the only too bad thing is like, I'm not a professional, obviously. The professional is, but like, they changed up the angle. We had to change up like our angle and a few things that we did, and it threw me off a little bit. So it took us a few times to get the run through.
Yeah.
Excuses
to get
starting
it.
already.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm
You
not
proud
saying
of the
that.
finished product? And when do we get to see
The
it?
final dance, I think, was okay. I think we finally did it good enough. I still.
It's a top secret until the
I-
unveiling, until the viewing party.
The viewing party is the 20th. I have to look into that. When we do it, I'll look into how other people can watch it because I think it's probably not a big deal this time. I don't think you have to buy tickets or anything,
Yeah.
So I'll
Well,
look
can you get
into
us a
it.
copy of it? I wouldn't mind. seeing
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
it.
for sure.
Yeah.
I'll send you guys. I mean, it went fine. Like everybody, I'm competitive. There's already things. I was driving over here and there's already like things I kind of wish I would have. I didn't quite. Whatever. It went fine though, and it was all good. All
Was there good chemistry with your dance partner?
With the new one, yeah?
Yeah, I think we seem to get. I think we got along together
Oh,
pretty
this is
well.
the old
so
one, right?
What's that?
Which was the younger one?
the
new
younger one was the first one.
The one that bailed on you.
Yeah, just left. High and dry.
Yeah.
Had to learn a fucking all new dance in 2 weeks, son of a bitch. But
Yeah.
no, I think it went good. And Sarah's the girl. And she did a good job, and she had a lot of patience with me, so I appreciate that
Way to
as
go,
always.
Sarah.
So
Yeah.
Nice job.
Anyway, good shit, and we're still doing good in the money, by the way. But you can still go to ericfady.com if you want to give money. We're still doing very well as far as
Yeah.
the other two dancers, but
Still leading.
couldn't hurt to throw
Yeah.
a few more padding in there. But
There's only three of you?
yeah, I think with the virtual event of it, I really believe that probably hurts them a lot. I think
Yeah.
people,
Oh, of
it makes it a
course.
lot harder to probably draw people. I feel
Yeah.
my guess would be,
I
but
guess I would have thought there was more than three.
usually there's like five. Usually there's like five dancers. I just
Yeah.
like I said, I feel like with the virtual event, I just feel like it's harder. I think some people, if they're going to do it, they want to do it and they want to raise the money, but they also like to
The black
have
tie
that real
nature
bit.
of
Oh,
it.
you're going to
Yeah.
be gone next year. You're not going to be able to do this.
I know.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
God.
You
Let's
told
do
them?
some sort of a virtual.
I'll do a virtual one on the road.
There you go.
Please don't.
Oh, yeah, right. Anyway, good shit.
All right. Well, good. I'm glad it's for a good cause. You've been good to them over the years, and you enjoy doing it. So
I do.
That's good. Good. Let's get to the news. What's going on in the world? We weren't here yesterday. Things
So probably
didn't
nothing happened, I
work
assume.
out. Yeah. Well, we had that election.
Oh, yeah. I'm just kidding, dude.
You
I know
know,
things happen. Just because they're not here doesn't mean things don't happen.
The world stops.
I assumed it stopped for 48. I left on what Monday? So I assumed nothing happened until
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
until you tell me
Yeah.
in that little stack of papers things that did happen.
Yeah.
That's all that
Fill you in
happened.
on what went on in the world.
Right. I'm here to listen just like the
48
hours. Viewers.
You're just a listener. at
Right.
this
I'm just,
point.
I'm just here.
We know the name of the girl that was killed by Henry Ruggs III.
Oh,
Tina Tintor.
what was her dog's name?
Oh my God! When I heard there was a Roops in the car,
I
that made me
know.
more upset than anything.
I wonder if there was an outcry. He's a dog murderer.
Yeah, there should be. Tina Tintor, 23 years old, devastating for the family. They live just down the road from each other. Sounds like her family's been there for decades, and he just moved in, back in April or something.
Was this right by their house then? Pretty close.
What's that?
This was right by the house then?
Yeah. She was out walking the dog with a friend and then driving home at
Seems
3:30 in the morning, but whatever.
Seems odd. Walking the dog and then driving home.
Yeah. I think she went to a girlfriend's and was hanging out with a girlfriend or something like that.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah. So 2 Las Vegas reports were released in the last couple days, offering a clearer picture of what's going on along Rainbow Boulevard, where this happened. And Roops was in the back seat. And I don't know what the Roops' name was. He didn't fare well.
Yeah.
It sounds like a horror show. I mean, Henry Ruggs, what are you doing? He was driving 156 miles an hour. 156 miles an hour. And it was one of the new vets.
What's the speed limit on this?
He was going 110 over the speed limit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude,
It was like a residential street, or
Yeah,
it's at
yeah.
least like a 50 mile an hour boulevard.
I do not understand why these rich people with money find a way to have a driver or an Uber, whatever
Yeah.
it takes to, and not even for your own sake. If you don't give a fuck about other people, if you don't, whatever. You're a narcissist. You don't care. That's fine. But for your own self-protection, it boggles my mind when high-end people don't just get a fucking ride if you're blitzed on some level.
Yeah. No, it's the same thing when we see these NFL players like punch some girl in the face at a party. And you're like, dude, your crew has a responsibility.
Should never get
Kick
to
that chick
point.
out and make sure you don't get to the point where the money train wagon ends.
Yep.
It's over for all of you. You all have a vested interest.
You need one guy running
in
point there.
that dude not beating the shit out of a chick at a party.
Well, and you know what? I'm not about to defend chick beating here, but at least that isn't. But no, but at least that is like an emotional thing. I mean, it personally would never be my go-to, but I could at least in my mind sometimes wrap around like, who knows, dude? He's been with some girl for a long time, maybe, and whatever, some kind of passion of
Yeah.
But driving.
Yeah,
It's
bad.
such a setup thing.
It sounds like he's blaring the stereo.
Sure.
I mean, dude, at 3:30 in the morning, like we've all been there where you're probably shouldn't be behind the wheel.
Yeah.
But for most of us, it's like cruise control on the speed limit.
Yeah.
You almost look guilty by 10 and 2, and I'm just doing the speed limit. My radio's down, the windows are up. Like that's how most people do it.
You think it was really dry? I mean, I know obviously he was driving that fast, but is this just somewhere where he was like, hit a little straightaway and was just like, wow, just stood on it to see what, and got it up to that speed and all of a sudden was like, fuck,
Dude,
boom.
Do that on a Wednesday afternoon somewhere
Well, then
when
there's
you're
people on the
sober.
road. Well, that's
You don't figure that out and see how fast you can get this car going at 3:30 in the morning when you're double the legal limit.
Yeah.
He was double the legal limit,
0.16.
Yeah.
That's a number.
which
It's respectable.
Yeah,
It's pretty good.
they were apparently they had shared some videos. They were at Topgolf, Las Vegas.
Okay.
And had shared some video that night on like Instagram or something, and then they'd sent it to a couple of his teammates, including Derek Carr. Like, yo, what do you guys think of my swing? His swing's horrible.
I'm sure.
It's terrible, but so and it's just a couple hours later that this all goes down. So they're drinking Mai Tais. In the video, they don't sound hammered at all.
And you know what's funny?
They sound dumb as shit.
Could be earlier in the night.
His girlfriend sounds like
I don't think they were at Topgolf till 3.
I've never ever.
They went to a friend's house after.
There you go.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's never ever hit me. I mean, you do drunk stories, all here and there. I've never wondered, like, I wonder in the most drunk I've ever been, like whatever that time was, whether it was
Passed out in the NASCAR.
or whatever. What was that limit? Like I've never
would
thought
you have blown?
about it. Yeah.
What was the limit? Oh, what you'd have.
Yeah.
Probably triple the legal limit.
I wonder what it would be. That's I'm just curious in my drunkest moment what that number would be if I blew.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It never hit me from just now. I thought, I wonder what I've blown at one point before.
Yeah, he'd probably surprise you.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
right. Maybe. Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
When you get to that
one of those
point, yeah, for
all-day
sure.
drinks, But you're more of just a beer guy.
Yeah, I don't drink
So
liquor, but still, I mean, I've had times where I black
yeah.
out, don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
So,
They were drinking Mai Tais at Top Golf.
Who the fuck drinks a Mai Tai?
Henry Ruggs and his
guess.
girlfriend,
Seems
who
like
was
an
with
old,
him,
old lady drink.
Kiera Kilgo-Washington. And they've been together since Bama.
Yeah.
There's pictures of
They
them.
got a kid together. Right?
They did, yeah.
I think they still do. I don't think the kid's gone.
Yeah, the kid's not gone. Yeah. So it was a green Corvette. It was one of those newer ones that are kind of dope.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
At least
he didn't
some,
have an 84 Vet out
some
there.
respect back, but
Yeah. And actually drew the attention of a couple guys as it blew through an intersection at Rainbow and Tropicana Avenue. Alexander Hart, who's a security guard at one of the condo complexes around there, saw them go by. And this other guy, Glenn Moffitt, he was at a gas station on the street corner, and he told the police he guessed the speed of the Vet going over 100 miles an hour at that point.
well, it's pretty easy to guess when it goes by in just a blur.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you had to be going at least 100.
According to Ruggs' girlfriend, as they approached Tinter's SUV, he slammed on the brakes and yelled, "What is this guy doing?" Like they were stopped at a light or something, and he locked up the airbags when it made impact. I guess slowed the car down to 127 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But sent this car, 156 miles an hour just before the crash, over 110 above the speed limit in this residential airport.
At least it got it down to 120-ish before at impact.
it's something.
Testament to those Corvette brakes.
I'll help out with the ticket.
Yeah, sure. He's still going to get 4 points.
Best I can.
There's no way around
Oh,
that.
that's reckless driving all day.
Is that 6 points or 4 points?
That's 4 for
Yeah.
reckless, yeah.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Boy, it's going to be hard. He's going to have to go to driving school.
Probably.
You know
Well,
what
they
I
might
mean?
let
You
him
get
do one of
those
the online
tickets.
courses, to not.
Yeah, they let
While-
me do
while
that.
If he, depending on I wonder what his record was before this, because sometimes you can do an online course and those points can go away.
Can you pass a driving test while you're in prison?
I don't,
Driving
I
around
don't
the
know
yard?
if they give you the keys of the car.
No.
At that point, I had to take one of those online courses, and I paid Derek $50 to do it.
Oh,
for me.
dude.
So he came over, took $50. He needed money at the time.
Okay.
And I paid him $50. And he sat there for 2 hours, took the test. He aced it for me.
Hey, $25 an hour, that's not bad.
Yeah.
You can get that at McDonald's these days.
When I got in my crash, when I crashed 2 years ago, when I broke my shoulder, yada yada, whatever. I had not.
How drunk were you?
What's up?
How drunk were you?
That was middle of the day. I was.
That's not what I asked.
I wasn't drunk. No, I wasn't. Just stupid, dude. But anyway, point is, I've never had anything on my record, and they let me. You always told that story, and I know it's changed at this point, but they let me, say, you know what? You have no points on your record. We'll let you do an online course to keep no points.
Yeah.
Dude, mine was like, you had to do, like, I don't remember how many parts of it were. There was like 10 parts. And the thing is you couldn't just get to the questions weren't that hard, but you couldn't just go to the end of the questions.
Yeah.
You had to sit. They said this test should take you 45 minutes.
Ugh.
So you had to sit there for 45 minutes. And
Yeah.
whether you read it, and so I would end up reading some of the shit because I'm like, well, I guess I'm just sitting here.
Yeah.
And eventually, it'd take me 10 minutes.
Do you
and
think
then
it helped you in any way? My guess is those courses don't do shit.
No,
Did you
because
learn anything?
No,
I mean,
don't.
you already know how to drive. You've been
Yeah.
driving for 20 years.
Yeah, the only the crash happened because I was just an idiot. I stopped at a stop sign. People going that way. I missed the car behind. There was a car.
Yeah.
I didn't think there was a car behind him. There was kind of obstruction. It's a weird dirt road kind of thing. But no, you're right. I didn't learn anything
I
in
can
the
see
classes.
learning something from that. I mean, it's not like you really know. From
Maybe-
when you're 15 taking driver's ed back then,
Yeah.
now like, oh, geez, I didn't realize it goes
Well-
counterclockwise through a four-way stop or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe something you pick up along the
Maybe
line.
there was something I did, but the point was, like, even like to your
Obviously,
think of
you
doing
weren't
them.
paying that good of attention.
Yeah.
Well, but my main point was it was such a pain. Like it was not just, hey, this should take you 45 minutes. Read it, answer the questions, because the questions were not that hard, in my
This
opinion.
will take you 45
But it will take you 45 minutes.
gonna
and I
make
was like,
damn sure it takes you 45
Jesus
minutes.
Christ. We're just sitting there like, Okay.
Anyway, back to the story here. The impact on this RAV4 sent this thing 570 feet.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's pretty good distance.
That's over a football field. That's almost two football fields.
Yeah.
How many pitches is that? Just kidding.
How many what?
How many
pitch.
How many pitches?
The beautiful game.
I don't know.
That's how I measure things now. I watch soccer now. So
Oh my God.
Football, I should say.
Sorry.
How big
I
is
watched
the
a
pitch?
shit ton of football over the year.
No one cares. E. The
Millions and millions of people that watch it.
no one gives a shit if you're watching.
The rest of the world does.
No, they don't. No one cares that you personally are watching soccer. Don't mention it again. No one cares. So this sent Ruggs' car 520 feet. Heard him down. He's not wearing a seatbelt either.
Come on.
Yeah.
How do you walk away from that?
I
Not
don't
wearing a
know.
seatbelt?
I have no idea. Be a professional athlete.
I don't. But hey, she's not. She walked away.
Yeah. I guess there's some serious injuries there, but I don't. They haven't said.
You're not dead. Hey, you run into something at 120
He was in
miles
court.
an hour.
They wheeled his ass into court with a neck brace.
His mugshot. He's got his neck brace
Yeah.
on.
And he's got just a little gash there.
Yeah.
Speaks volumes about the vet.
Yeah,
Not
big-
so much the RAV4.
Big ups, GM. Nice job on
Yeah.
that one.
So, yeah, this sounds just awful, awful. There were 3 people, citizens that stopped to try to help.
Good luck with that.
A Dodge Durango pulled over to help as the vehicle fire grew. Occupants of the Dodge were soon joined by Hart and the security guard, the two that they heard this.
Oh yeah.
And so when Hart arrived, he heard screams coming from the RAV4. Probably the Roops, too, barking like
probably.
crazy. The driver was still alive, but she was pinned inside the SUV. None of the bystanders could pull her out. Eventually, they had to back away. It was just getting too hot and smoke-filled.
That will happen.
So, yeah, her and the Roops died in the SUV. She was 23.
You get an
Like,
extra charge for that?
cruelty
killing
to
an animal?
animals? I don't know. I don't know. Probably not.
Give him the Michael Vick treatment.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, yeah. That's the one that bothers me the most.
I
honestly,
assumed it would.
of this whole story. It's the fucking Roops.
Yeah.
He's just sitting in the back. He doesn't know nothing.
Well, I
So-
don't know that the person driving on the other road knew nothing either. They're just, I mean, and they're dead too. Like,
Yeah, I don't like humans though. Either.
I know,
I mean, that's
I know.
the deal. I'm
She
sorry.
made a choice
I-
to be in the car. The dog didn't have a
Yeah,
choice.
okay.
Yeah,
I don't think that dog
exactly.
chose to be out at 3 o'clock in the morning. What are you doing? What
Wanted
are
to
you
be
doing?
laying in bed, taking a nap
Right.
on the floor. Just anything but that.
You're responsible to have your dog out that late.
Michael Leon lives off the Rainbow Boulevard right there, and he's laying in bed sleeping and hears this horrific
I can
explosion.
imagine how loud that was on impact, too.
He peers out over the wall there and he sees what's going on, and he said the music was so loud coming out of the vet, which was only drowned out by this horrific screaming of the woman in the RAV4. Yeah, that's what he heard.
Eek.
So as they try to help Ruggs, for his part, not wearing a seatbelt, doing 156 when he gets in this wreck.
Crazy.
He's hung out
he's
of the
alive,
driver's
right?
side.
Yeah, he's fine. He
Yeah.
literally walked away,
That's what
basically.
I'm-
I mean,
Fuck,
barely a
man.
scratch. He's
How does that happen? Like,
Speaks volumes about like T said, the GM. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
One thing I can think is
I mean,
that
Corvette has to be thinking like, can we put this in a commercial?
See,
Like,
the RAV, we talked about it before a little bit, but I just wonder, like, if you just hit straight from behind, the front end of that vet is so low and so
Yeah.
pointy, and that RAV is, I mean, it's not huge, but it's an SUV. It sits up a little bit. Like,
you would think you'd go right under it and
kind of, and
decapitate
I
his
almost,
ass.
yeah, well, I mean, I wonder if that was deflected some of the impact, so it wasn't just a blunt. That's, I mean, if they both went 500 and something feet.
Yeah.
Like, if it was dead ass, he'd have stopped and she'd have gone. You know,
Yeah.
like those fucking ball things, you know.
Yeah. Sure.
But the fact that he still went 500 feet, I mean, I guess carrying 120 miles an hour, he still got a little momentum behind you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I don't know. If I was the marketing team for GM or Corvette,
that's going to be your next commercial.
I'd be trying to find a way to fit this in. Like, dude, even at 156 miles an hour,
we
not
don't
wearing
recommend
a
it,
seatbelt.
but if you did,
I mean, look what our car survived. The people, the occupants of this vehicle, walked away essentially. You know, I mean,
just show a
that's
charred RAV4 and
yeah. Look what the RAV4 did. It exploded.
and Ruggs in just a neck brace. You choose.
little tiny cut on his eye.
Next time you're thinking Toyota or GM.
Yeah. If I was working for them, I'd be gingerly, you got to be respectful of the people that were injured and
devastated by
died,
the
and the dog. Obviously, the dog.
I mean,
more
just
than
throw
anything.
thoughts and prayers on there, and you're fine.
Yeah.
You think you could do that? Just some thoughts and prayers.
At the end, tell them you're giving some donation, quote unquote, to the.
Yeah, don't drink and drive.
Yeah.
If the dog was in the
We believe
Corvette,
that.
he'd still be here today.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Probably would.
Yep.
Yep. No doubt about it. So yeah, when they at first while they're trying to get this girl out, he's got his feet on the floorboard and his body is lumped out onto the fucking boulevard. And he's still pretty good. Police arrive. He refuses everything. Won't deal with
Yeah,
him.
good move. That's all
Slurring
right.
his
I mean, what
words.
are you going to do?
So he goes to the hospital.
Make him earn it, at least.
And apparently he was an asshole at the hospital.
Really?
Ripping IVs out, demanding to get the fuck out of here. Get me the fuck out of here.
Okay.
The cops are like, okay, you're not going anywhere, dude. I'm sorry. He's yelling at nurses to fuck off and cops. I mean, just
Did they restrain him?
probably. I
some
mean,
point,
he's
I would
he's
imagine.
under police guard. I don't know if he was handcuffed to a bed.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
If he's being belligerent. Do you just chalk that up to drunk? I mean, can you get away with that?
Chalk that up
Because
to a lot of things.
yeah, but
I think that whole. I mean, guys like that.
But
they
ripping
have
his
this-
IVs out and telling the cops, "Go fuck yourself. I'm not answering shit." Slurring your words. Is that just like
Probably some.
he wakes up? Here's why I say I had a couple buddies that you guys would all know that when we were driving. I was in the back seat, and these two jokers were in the front, and we got into an altercation on the road. And some damage was done to another car when one of the occupants of my car, not my car, but of our
Vehicle you
car,
were in.
vehicle I was in, threw a bottle or something and broke a light, something like that.
Sure.
Cops end up on the scene. What do you know? We're all hammered drunk. And so for the, I think it was destruction of property over X dollars.
Mm-hmm.
So they hauled him and the driver in, drunk as shit, and they proceeded to call me, collect from jail all night.
Yeah.
Woo! Woo! Why aren't you in jail with us, motherfucker? Just going on and on and on. They got fucking slippers and they wrote Fila on their slippers. We got Fila slippers, motherfucker. Woo! And the next morning,
Good old Farmington Hills Hilton.
yeah, right.
You don't get that everywhere.
The next morning, there's a black dude sitting in the cell with him, just kind of in the tank. And these two clowns that everybody would know very well if they listen to this show, kind of wake up and come to, and this dude's just like, ain't so funny now, motherfucker, is it?
Right. Had a real good time till we passed out.
Yeah, this was not. So can you chalk it up to something like that? Like
Probably.
in
I mean,
the moment.
That's pretty.
Well, I would
belligerent.
say,
You're
by the way,
double.
I would say there's a difference to me between being drunk and like calling your friends up in a joking way,
Yeah.
and telling nurses to fuck off. Angry drunk is a lot worse than a fun drunk.
Yeah.
Even if the fun drunk to me could be more annoying, that's still you can deal with that. If someone's like, okay, it sucks, but whatever, he's having fun. But belligerently telling them to fuck off and get the fuck out of here. And
But you know, those guys have had. I mean, they've gotten away with murder.
Oh, I know.
Pun intended.
Yeah.
Their whole lives.
Yeah.
Especially
some of
something
them
like that. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they've been in situations and gotten away with it and gotten out of it because of who they are.
Sure.
Down there in Tuscaloosa.
I used to talk about the days of the Drew and Mike show. It became increasingly difficult to wake up. I was high most of the time. Getting up at 4 a.m. was a bitch.
Tough schedule.
Yeah, and so there were so many times when you'd just be flying. There's no one on the road at 4 a.m.
Yep.
But it's like, fuck, I'm late. Holy shit. Clark was late every day and do the whole bit where he'd call in for the opening break. And a lot of times we weren't far behind him or in front of him.
Yeah.
We'd get there right, but you end up doing 100 down 696 just to get there. And I got pulled over literally dozens of times. And there's no doubt about it. It was like, boys, I'm on my way to the Drew and Mike show. I got to go, dude. And they'd be like, beat it.
Yeah.
Like, there's no doubt that that privilege
Plays a role.
played a role where I felt like it was wrong, but I felt like there's no cop in this market that's going to give me a fucking speeding ticket.
Right.
The one that did got harassed horrifically by the other cops. So we talked about it on the air, and then that cop got his fucking ass handed to him by all the other cops. Like, what are you doing, dipshit? Why would you give this guy a ticket? And that's what led to the driving class and a backroom meeting with my lawyer and the judge to take this on. Like, they're like, we can't ignore this. He's literally been pulled over 65 times. We have to do something.
Yeah.
You know, this looks ridiculous. And so that's when I paid Derek to take the fucking driving test for me. And my lawyer
like you really,
high-fived me at that.
Really learned your lesson.
Learned a lot of lessons. I don't dream of doing that now. But as a 20-something...
Well, now that you don't have, do you have
anywhere to be. But dude, I don't speed it up. I'm literally
the clout. I don't think you have the clout that you can.
Now
do
you're
it.
Oh
definitely
yeah,
getting a
well,
fucking ticket.
no, I wasn't.
You know who
even-
I used to be.
Yeah, I used to have a cool job. You know that. But no, I'm the slow guy on the road now. But
Yeah, I know.
but definitely to your point, T. Ruggs would probably have. Who knows? But those guys are so pampered. Think about Alabama. That's basically a pro squad too.
Yeah.
Was he the? He didn't win the Heisman, but was he? I mean, he was a 12th pick overall.
Yeah, I mean, he was number one. Might have been the number one receiver that year.
Maybe
I'm not sure.
12th pick by
Either
the
way.
Raiders, and so young in his career. He's 22. Mm-hmm. He's 22 years old.
That's why I say I think he can make it back.
You think so?
Yeah, I do. I do.
I mean, he's getting shit.
It's going to
by
be
a lot of
tough because
people,
someone
but
died. If someone hadn't died, if she
NFL players have killed people before.
I
This is
agree.
nothing
And
new.
if
But
he
it's-
didn't
it's
die,
newer,
he
but it's newer,
He
but
wouldn't even miss a. He'd barely miss a game.
that's my point.
Yeah.
Can he still run a 4.340?
We'll find out.
But
Like,
you say
because if he
NFL
can,
Here's the
would
problem.
you
though.
would you be bummed if the Lions, when he got out of jail, he kept up his workout regimen in the clink.
we'll see.
2 years later, he's
Bring him into
out.
camp.
He's now
see what he can
24.
do. Yeah, he's in his prime.
He's just starting to get to his prime.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean,
I think
The
things are
Lions
different
need
now.
receivers.
Do
than
they have
were,
like? Do they have the longest yard in prison?
Yeah.
Do they- is there a penal league he can stay loose in?
and he'll probably be treated really well in prison.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know?
Probably, sure.
I'm not saying what's going to happen. I'm just saying I think things are a little different these days because everyone sees everything. You can't. Everyone will know. So I am not saying whether he'll be on a team. It wouldn't shock me if he was, but it also these days wouldn't shock me if he doesn't.
Well, the only thing he's
I
got
don't know.
going for him is, I mean, while it was negligent as fuck, it was not
wasn't a
intentional
murder.
malicious. Yeah,
Right.
he didn't murder somebody. He
I don't
didn't.
know. You could almost make an argument that it is. Like, what do you think's going to happen if you're doing 156 miles an hour wasted on the freeway? That's
But it's not the same. It's not fully like he was
no.
in
It's
a
not
club
like you
and
pulled a
shot
gun.
somebody.
Yeah, you're right. You guys are right.
That's
but,
that's the only reason I think that he might get some penance for it.
yeah.
A second chance. Everybody deserves.
You know,
a
I would say
second
this on my
chance,
end. I
right?
hate to sound like Jay on this, and look, I don't really care personally. Whatever, but football. Yeah, right. But you know what? Tackle football, NFL tackle football is it is not a right. It is a privilege. And you know what? Dude, maybe he's lost his. Doesn't mean he can't go out and make a living the rest of his life. Doesn't mean he should be ostracized the rest of his life. I believe in forgiveness and I believe in second chances. But
I mean, if a guy
not
goes
say-
to jail, does his time, serves
Yeah.
his sentence, and
Yeah.
comes out, why wouldn't he?
the
be
problem
able
is,
to?
how
Why-
long is
he
that
shouldn't
jail time? I mean, is it going to
Well,
be
of
3
course.
years?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, is he going to be able to come out in
Even
3 years
That's
and
the
play?
thing. It's a minimum 2 years if
Okay.
he's if found guilty, which he will be. Maximum 20 years. The days of
His behavior in the hospital is probably not going to do him any favors.
No, and that's where that will come into play. I'm sure, but
I think you can.
If you show remorse and you
Yeah,
aren't a dick about
I think
it,
you
you
could
probably
show
got a better
remorse for that
chance.
too.
Sure.
Because just going, hey, look, man, this is he was in shock.
Yeah.
He was wasted.
Yeah.
He's not proud of his performance in the hospital.
And even that, you
he's
could
very
say, look, I was
remorseful
so
of it.
drunk, I didn't even realize that I
Yeah.
was driving. You know what I mean? I was so, in any other circumstance,
Yeah.
I would have never driven, but I was so fucking ridiculously drunk and
Yeah.
out of my mind that I did it when it's not like I did it knowingly and shouldn't have. You can try
Yeah.
and play that, but who knows?
Here's
yeah,
what-
and who
right.
these people again for these guys. I mean, he signed a rookie deal, right? So they can't. The days of just being able to come in for $100 million are over.
Yeah.
but he's on a 4-year, $16 million deal.
that's all they're
9
getting these
guaranteed.
days?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it. So these
Well,
guys
I
that
do
fucking
too,
think
but-
they've arrived and then don't perform,
Yeah.
like half the first round picks.
Yeah.
you just bust them out. You didn't pay.
yeah, then
shit
you're a
for
drain
them.
on the cap. I'll say this, Troy. This would be my answer then. My answer would be if they're going to charge him. They said minimum 2, maximum 20. My guess is they'll end up being around 5 to 10 ish. He'll get less because of good performance or that he's a celebrity, whatever. if he can make it out of that prison, whatever the sentence ends up being, then okay. Sure, take him.
I was
he has
going to
to be
say,
good, though.
I don't, I think the days of celebrities getting special treatment in the courts is not what it used to be.
Oh, for
Where
sure.
It used to
That's
be,
Lori Loughlin.
Lori Loughlin. Yeah, but there's so much public scrutiny,
Yeah.
and with the internet, so many people are following these things, looking for that outrageousness of a Vince Neil kills someone in a drunk driving accident and gets 18 days in jail.
Right.
And they say, well, he's got to make a living so he can pay off the fines. So send him on the road.
As if,
and
by the way,
put him
he
on
couldn't
tour
make
around the
a
world.
living, something. They couldn't force him to say, well, okay, now you're doing this, I guess. Guess you're not a rock star now.
Well, it was a $2 million wrongful
Yeah.
death suit.
No,
it was
I
like,
get it.
the only way he's going to make $2 million is
Yeah.
going on a tour.
Okay.
And so send him around the world wasted. And but people always point back to that when I'm like, oh yeah, Vince Neil, like when he killed, someone, and he really fucked up someone else. The Hanoi Rocks drummer Razzle was killed in that car accident, but the other occupants in the other car were really fucked up too. So those days are kind of gone, where they're almost trying to throw the book at these guys. I don't know what you do with this one. It's not like it's a federal case, so he can't get time knocked off. So good behavior could come into play.
Sure.
I'll say he
some
ends up
point.
going 5. Honestly.
If he goes 5 years,
years,
he's done. He's not
done.
coming back in the league.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say so the minimum's 2. What if he does 2?
All right, then he's coming back.
Then I think he's done his time.
I mean, whether or
He
not he
committed a crime.
makes
No.
it,
I'm saying, but he'll have to prove that he can play, though. You got to remember, and
He'll get a
Yeah,
shot.
he's,
That's what I'm
he's
saying.
fucking good, dude. He's
Yeah, but-
really good, and he's young. He's 22.
I mean, he might lose it. He might not. What I'm saying, I don't know if he.
And you
comes
got to
back and
remember,
can make it,
those
but
teams are
he'll
going to
a
have
shot.
to look at him too. Like they're not going to look at him like he's just a kid who just he's going to have to be very good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but if he does his time, I'm okay with that. If
I
he does
look at
his
it
time.
like, Michael Vick was torturing dogs. I mean, like, willfully
Yeah.
going out of his way to run this shit and torture dogs and
Mm-hmm.
kill them in drownings and electric
Yep.
shock. Like, that story was horrific. And he was able to do his time and get with the right groups to educate people on dog stuff. Most people still think he's a fucking monster for that.
They brought
but
him out
he-
like a martyr when he came back. They
Yeah.
promoted the shit out of it.
Yeah, and that it was cultural. He didn't know, like, how do you not know not to torture another living creature? I don't get that, but he did as much as he probably could to help that and educate people, and he made it back into the good graces of the league. Now that was a few years ago when Ron Mexico did that, but Henry Ruggs, he's going to have to be. I don't know.
We'll see.
He's going to do some time. We'll see. It's going to be.
It's tragic and it's an accident, that was preventable. But
Yeah.
lesson learned, kids. Don't drink and drive. And if you do, don't go 150 fucking miles an hour.
Yeah, I still just, when you've got these, I mean, there's a little over 2,000 players in the NFL, all making really good money. Henry Ruggs he was going to make a shit ton of money.
Yeah, next contract, yeah.
Next contract. They went to a friend's house. Obviously, when they were at Topgolf, I've seen the video. They don't sound fucked up at all. They're joking, they're laughing. He's shitty hitting golf balls.
Yeah.
So whatever took place after that video was filmed,
A lot more drinking.
a lot more. And then at their friend's house. But why that friend? You know what I mean? Like, you've got Henry Ruggs. You have to know he's fucking wasted.
Yeah, right.
You have to know what he's been drinking. You have to know what he does as a public person.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, when do friends step in and go, dude, there is no fucking way I'm letting you jump in your vet right now and drive out of here. You would do that to me,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Well,
And
absolutely.
if I was someone like Henry Ruggs, where you've got one of the most public jobs on the planet, you're adored by millions, and you're making a lot of money.
Surround yourself with good people, man.
Yeah,
You don't know.
yeah. Anyway, so we'll see where that goes. I mean, who knows? That trial could be another year off.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah.
Hopefully sooner than later for his career. Get that sentence started.
See him in
Hey,
Honolulu Blue and Silver.
Hey, Lions could use him. Huh?
No, whether he plays for the Lions or not does not bring back the dead girl or the Roops.
No, exactly
Or that
right.
poor
So there's no
Roops.
point in that the career should go to waste too.
Yeah.
She's already dead.
Deny us all this
Yeah.
extreme athletic talent.
4-3-5.
Burner out there. Absolute lightning on the field. So, private companies now. Biden is being slammed for this new vaccine mandate shit that's going into effect. Holy shit. How did we get here?
It's a great question. How did we get
Unbelievable.
here?
We went from 2 weeks to flatten the curve.
Yeah.
It wasn't a year ago. They were saying, like, all of them in power, Pelosi and Biden and Harris, all saying, Fauci, that no, you can't order people, you can't mandate the general public to do this. You can't take private companies and make them.
Nope.
Like, they all said
never,
that.
Didn't, yeah, but I think it was quoted. We would never dream of mandating or something. Oh, but yet here we are. How did we get here?
So private companies could face nearly $14,000 in fines for each unvaccinated worker and up to $136,532. How they came to that exact number.
How did they? Don't you have
For
the
repeat
option
offenders.
of being tested though for this at your own expense? From what I hear, but if you're not vaccinated, you can still opt to like whatever daily or weekly testing, but you have to cover the costs.
You are on the hook to pay for
Yes.
it. Yeah. OSHA announced the final version of the new rule this morning, which will impact more than 80 million workers at companies nationwide. So any company that's got 100 employees is who that will affect. So we are off the hook here.
Whew.
We do not have 100 employees.
All right.
So we're good.
Too little, too late on that one, though, man.
What?
What's the difference now?
What do you mean? What's the difference?
Well, we already got it. So,
What do you mean?
You don't know.
Oh,
from
the
what I've
vaccine?
heard, that's what I've.
I'm immunized.
Yeah.
We already said this.
Immunized.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers.
right.
Workers who fall under Biden's order will need to receive their final shot by January 4th of the new year. After that date, employers will need to implement at least weekly COVID-19 testing for those who aren't fully vaccinated. Enforcement of the rule will be just as that of any other rule, which includes inspections to check for compliance. Red states are likely to rebuke the new rule, and it's currently unclear how the federal government will grapple with that if they try not to comply. The new guidelines have been put in place amid widespread backlash to mandates, including bids from furious Republicans who are trying to overturn it to keep people at their jobs in fear of staff shortages and first responders being turned away from work in major cities. Our economy is crumbling, and former Vice President Joe Biden is doing everything in his power to make it worse.
Former vice president.
That's all I call him. Senator
You
Blackburn
ever got
said
that, Yeti?
No, I haven't.
he said that 12 times.
I still call him president because you know what, dude? I believe in
Good for you.
He is
right
the
and wrong,
president.
man.
You can. Former Vice President Joe Biden. Giving him his
Current
respect.
president, I mean.
Okay. Well, business, it's a joke. You can relax.
I understand.
You can calm down. I understand that he's the president.
I-
All the goddamn respect you
Well, you
deserve.
know what, dude? You know what it is?
Respect for
I'm
the
just
office.
so we've already gone down it. I'm so against how other people treated it that I get that it's, you know, I should have just let it go because I keep it joking.
Yeah,
but
should've.
but
Totally
but on
joke.
the same hand, I will say on my end, I won't fucking do that. I won't do that how they did it.
Well, you're a
That's
better man
bullshit.
than me.
Not my president.
Well,
Hashtag not my president. That was Marsha Blackburn. While businesses scramble to fill the 10.4 million open jobs in this country, Biden's vaccine mandate will push even more Americans out of the workforce. Congressman of Arizona, Andy Biggs, said enough is enough. Since day one of this administration, the former Vice President Joe Biden's administration he's talking about, federal agencies like OSHA have been weaponized against the American people. OSHA has no right twisting the arm of the private sector and forcing ultimatums on people. On employees' personal health care decisions. That's why my bill, the NOSHA Act, abolishes OSHA and its bureaucratic regulations. It's time to end the big brother state and fight back against these unconstitutional agencies. OSHA's existence is yet another example of the federal government creating agencies to address issues that are more appropriately handled by state governments and private employers. New York Congresswoman Claudia Tenney said the OSHA rule far exceeds the boundaries of executive authority. Former Vice President Biden has made the decision to render our constitutional guardrails completely irrelevant. It is truly the point of no return for this administration, and the rule will forever exacerbate an already disastrous labor crisis. Yeah.
When does it kick in for boosters?
Yeah, I don't know.
You had your, when you were one of the first ones to go
Yeah,
out there
I will
and
say
get
this,
your
dude.
jab. It's been going on close to a year,
Right,
or whatever, and then they're going to start mandating the boosters if you're out of compliance, if you haven't have if your shot's more than 6
Yeah.
months old, whatever.
It's
fucking scary.
And that's an arbitrary number. They don't know.
I know.
They don't know if it lasts 3 months.
I'll
six
say
months.
this on my end. I'm by 6 months after I got mine, I'll have gone to Hawaii for sure, and possibly Alaska.
Do you have to you have to show proof to go to Hawaii,
Yeah,
right?
you don't. You can still do a test, but the problem is that even in the state of Hawaii to get into bars, they're really strict. So I
Yeah.
did it for reasons that I wanted to be able to go in because of what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
But my point is, 6 months I might have even gotten through Alaska. I'm not getting no fucking booster. I'm telling you this much right now. I did the thing I
that
did.
surprises me.
We'll see.
I did the fucking thing I did.
We'll see.
I won't have
I know.
unless it's some real 1984 shit. I'm saying I'm not doing it because I fucking did the thing. That's enough for me. I got through the main.
You took one for the team, as
Right.
Bill Maher said.
Yeah,
Right.
That's,
You know,
that's the
I
way I
think
did it. That was
there's-
my philosophy.
There's a lot of us that basically took one for the team. I had underlying health conditions, so it made more sense for someone like me. But if I was you two,
Yeah.
I
I didn't want to
don't
deal with the
know,
bullshit. That's what it boiled down to.
dude. Totally, and
And I
that's
had-
bullshit. That's why.
True. It wasn't because I was
that
scared
was-
or it was
no.
for my own well-being.
No.
And it was even more so because I knew there's a percentage of the people out there that are so against it that I could really give a shit either way. All things being equal, I probably wouldn't have bothered.
Yeah.
But I'd respect
Do you bother
for
with a
them.
flu vaccine every year?
Never have. Never will.
Yeah.
But
Right there with
to respect them, for us to be able to hit whatever that bullshit arbitrary number was, the 70, 75, 80%,
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
it was, the 20% of people that are adamant about not getting it, I did it so that we could get to that point
yeah.
and they wouldn't have to, you say take one for the team. That was kind of my thought process.
Mine
on
too.
It really was. And not have to deal with the bullshit. I go to too many concerts, too many events, things.
Yeah.
that I knew I was going to have to do it. I'm not going to fuck around and get a test every time.
Yeah.
I just got one the other day and
Yeah.
it sucked. God,
Yeah.
stabbed my fucking brain again.
they?
No,
I thought
yeah.
I thought that was kind of done now. I thought they had a better version now.
Not
Okay.
that I'm aware of.
Okay.
She poked the shit out of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean-
and the fact is, people don't like being told what to do.
Yeah.
They just don't.
a
Americans
fan.
don't like.
Not a
And I
fan.
know that sounds petty, but
Yeah, I mean, just like I said again, I might if I wouldn't for that I probably wouldn't have got it because, dude, I don't do that much. I didn't, and I want. You know what's so annoying to some people is I've said this to people before. I wanted to want to get it, if that makes sense. Like I wanted to be like, hell yeah, first day, let's do this. Like I wanted to be that person.
Yeah.
Because I don't give a fuck with this conspiracy shit. I don't
Yeah.
give a fuck about this chip bullshit. Now, is there some concerns in reality that it's not been tested enough and there could be help? Of course there's that, which
Yeah.
is the only issue I ever had. But as far as like, when you go down that anti-vaxxer route, I really did. I wanted to be like, hell yeah. I wanted to be excited. I wanted to get it and post my picture and be like, fuck yeah, I'm doing my part. But I didn't do it for a long time because I didn't feel that way.
Yeah.
And it's a bummer and it's bullshit that people like us and, me, Troy, and you in that sense would have got thrown in any quote unquote anti-vaxxer.
Yeah.
When that's not what I was at all. I just got my fucking tetanus thing last September when I went up north because I pricked my fucking thing and I didn't sit there for 1 second and think, not going to get that shot.
yeah.
Not 1 second.
No, none of us are anti-vax. It's a
Like, I know
it's
you
a
said they
bullshit
changed, right.
story. They'll change the definition of what anti-vax
Right.
means.
Yeah.
That's all. They'll just take the Merriam-Webster's dictionary definition and change it. And they're doing that on a lot of words. So, if that feels right to you, if that feels normal to you, okay,
You're
so
part
be
of
it.
the fucking
Well, that's what I
problem.
said. I mean, I said,
We are considered anti-vax. We're
Right.
a stance that
Technically.
we're talking about right now.
True.
Like, hey, man, if you've got conditions, if you're
If you
elderly,
even question it, it's
at
like,
all.
If that, we read that definition.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
something that,
Yeah.
Like if you even
well, not
question
only
it,
that,
it's-
some of these people now, even if you've gotten it and then still are like, hey, I'm like, we've gotten it, but you're against the mandate. That's still not enough. That's
No,
like, no,
no,
you're just
you're
supposed to be fucking
anti-vax.
right. You're supposed to be full on.
not
It's like-
anti-mandate. You're anti-vax.
right.
Employees who are not vaccinated by the deadline will also be required to wear masks in the workplace. The masking requirement goes into effect by December 5th for unvaxxed workers. OSHA will enforce the new rule through inspections, whether planned or without advance notice.
Yeah, that's what they do.
So, yeah, the OSHA rule is being implemented as an emergency temporary standard, what's known as an ETS.
Oh,
You know-
yeah.
you know what OSHA
obviously,
stands for?
Sure. But
Oh shit, him again.
yeah, I knew it was coming. I knew something
Yeah.
was coming down. I knew I wasn't getting the real.
No.
This is-
Oh shit, him again.
So, the part that pisses people off is OSHA's just another reaching government body that, this ETS that was put in place was for very specific things. If they needed to have emergency authority, if by a labor department agency meant to help workers if they could potentially be exposed to grave dangers in the workplace. So you're talking about stuff like asbestos.
Yep.
Where
Workplace safety.
OSHA ETS was created and used to address the dangers of asbestos to employees. OSHA issued an ETS related to the pandemic in June to help protect healthcare workers from COVID by mandating hospitals, nursing homes, and other medical workplaces to draft a plan on keeping employees safe, improving ventilation systems, access to PPE, the personal protection equipment, and social distancing measures. Now it's being used again to require vaccines in private workplaces nationwide, which just pisses people off. And while the idea, they say, might be well-intentioned, Biden also risks shredding the social fabric on an already divided country by stretching the bounds of constitutionality. The president should not and likely does not have the power to unilaterally compel millions of private sector workers to get vaccinated or risk losing their jobs. Robbie Sove wrote in the New York Times.
It would be interesting to watch that downward spiral of how we got from we would never mandate, we just hope people would do it for everybody's best interest, however this started, to where we are at now, to watch that shit show
it was
unravel.
pretty fast. I mean, it was, think about how fast that went, really. But
people are
control,
depending on
it's control.
Depending on what media they're consuming, it's all fear mongering. It's not based in real science. Hold on.
Oh, no, sorry.
It's not based in reality. And you see the studies that are coming out. There's one in the, where was that? Let's see. It was the Lancet Infectious Disease Journal. They did a year-long study, okay, and just published their findings. People who have received COVID-19 vaccinations are able to spread the Delta variant within their household despite their status of being vaccinated just as easily as unvaccinated individuals. That's what they found in a year-long study.
Well, no shit. I mean, that's common knowledge, is it? I mean,
but it's not, because why? Then these mandates don't make any sense.
I understand.
I know you do, but for those listening who don't fully understand this, vaxxed and unvaxxed people, as we know, the science is pointing towards, they're at the same levels of transmission, whether vaxxed or unvaxxed, meaning that the vaccination affects you personally. That's it. No one else.
You're not immune to it.
No, not even a little bit immune to it.
Yeah.
All it does is protect you from serious hospitalization or possible death. That's the point of the vaccine. So this mask mandate, laying off tens of thousands of workers all through New York, critical healthcare employees, firemen, police officers, the people that have been saving people through this pandemic and getting people through it, you're laying all those people off, furloughing them, cutting their jobs, cutting their, wiping out their pay, unless they get this jab, which really, if you think about it, doesn't do shit to protect anybody else. Nope. So what is this about? What the fuck is this about? What is going on here? And I would think the liberals that are super fucking vax, they believe everything Lord Fauci says, that criminal piece of shit who should be in fucking jail, by the way, in my opinion. And I've been saying that to everybody who'll listen to me for over a year now.
And even those who won't.
Yeah, and even those who won't.
Him and Rand had another good one. Did you see that?
Did they?
Him and Rand had another good bout.
Oh, did
yeah.
Yeah,
Fauci's 100% wrong. He's full of shit. Yeah. They were doing gain-of-function research. They've changed the definition. On the fucking guidelines of the NIH, they removed gain-of-function from the fucking website.
Yeah.
They removed it from the website. So we're just getting cute with the words
that's exactly
now.
What it was.
It's exactly
what it was. And if you watch their back and
doing.
forth, that's exactly what it was. He starts... watch it. I won't get into it, but it's
no, you can.
It's comical. I wouldn't do it justice, but the way it's wordplay is all that it is. No, I take exception to this. Said, there's one thing that's actually horrifying about that is because one thing he keeps circling back to is that the current pandemic.
The
current pandemic is. I take exception. You say that I'm responsible for the current pandemic.
Yeah,
and I'm thinking, what the fuck are you trying to say?
Right. There's
like, was there one before this that you started, or is there one fucking coming I don't know about? But something's fucked up here right now, dude. When you start saying, fair and balanced and all these weird little things, when you start stretching this, you say I'm responsible for the current pandemic, and that is clearly false.
I'm hearing what you're saying, dude.
Like, I don't like where this is going.
Yeah. Other countries. Sorry.
No, it's all right.
Other countries have decided this is no longer a pandemic. This is an endemic. It's going to be with us. So you've got a lot of the Finland, Sweden, Holland, just going, yeah, fuck this, whatever. We're not doing this game anymore.
Yep.
We're acting like, oh my God, COVID, and they've just opened shit back up. Florida, nobody fucking wears a mask. They have the lowest COVID rates in the nation.
Yep.
There's no mask mandates. Nobody's wearing a mask in Florida.
It's the heat.
Everyone's
It's
hanging
the
out.
sunshine. It's
Yeah.
the vitamin D.
Well, I will say this, by the way.
And
Is that
here's the
just
thing.
California and New York at this point? Because honestly, even in this country, are there other states other than California and maybe New York that it's not like that? I don't feel like there's any other state that isn't just... What's being held back at this point? I'm not trying to be a jerk, but I'm just saying.
Vermont, probably.
Okay, maybe there are.
There could be Maine, some of those
Yeah,
super
okay.
liberal. But that's enough, dude. California and New York.
No, I get it. I get it.
That's
I was just
massive
curious.
populations.
I was just curious. And the other thing about getting, I'll say one more thing about getting the vaccine, and you can move on from that aspect. But all these people that are so harsh, you know what really ended up doing it for me? Yes, I had this trip, but you know what? That wasn't even the overall. I still was saying it to myself. I didn't think I was going to get it. And I was listening to a conservative radio station channel I listen to sometimes, and he had a guy on, and he was talking about it, and he talked about it in a very smart and reasonable way. And he's like, I've been looking at vaccines for 30 years and studying the past, and this guy's just like, this is the safest one I've ever seen. Whether that's true or not doesn't matter, but he was just like, instead of just yelling at me, instead of just, shaming me, a person that I felt was smart, and I trust the anchor that hosts that show, and he has this guy on, and then I said to myself, you know what, dude, I probably should do it, whatever.
He was Beck.
This was actually the guy, the afternoon dude, guy.
Yeah, he's great.
Guy Benson show. But he had some other dude on. But the point is, he had some other dude on.
Did he have the evolutionary biologist on?
Maybe.
The guy that was a professor. Him and his
that
wife
could
do
have
a
been it. That
podcast?
could have been it. I don't know. But my point was mainly, again, it was never, when you talk about it, when Troy talks about it being controlled, the people that are just anybody that even questions this, what finally got it in my fucking arm was a dude that was on a show having a reasonable discussion, and I just said, you know what?
Yeah.
Maybe it's time. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
people don't want to hear that. They will plug their ears and la 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 la. They don't want to hear it. And I thought it was interesting. It might have been Bill Maher who was talking about this, or Jimmy Dore, Max Blumenthal, one of those that's really kind of been staying on top of a lot of this. It might have been Maher, but others have talked about it too, about a poll that was done with Democrats and what they believed hospitalization rates were for unvaccinated people, because that's the big deal.
Yeah.
This is a disease of the unvaccinated, as
Yeah,
Biden
yeah.
said. This is a disease of the unvaccinated, and we're going to be dealing with this COVID-19, and as long as these dirty people won't get vaccinated,
Dragging down all society.
dragging us all down, which is nonsense. It's fucking nonsense. So
I
they
didn't
asked,
call them
shut up,
Neanderthals at one point.
so they asked in this poll what percentage of the people that are unvaxxed and get COVID end up in the hospital, and their answer was 50%.
Okay.
50%.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
The actual answer is 0.89%.
Yeah,
So less than 1% of people that are unvaxxed and get COVID
I would
end
have
up in
said
the
maybe
hospital.
5.
And the amount of vaxxed people who get COVID and end up at the hospital is like 0.019%. But either way, both of those categories of people are less than 1%.
Yeah.
You're talking about less than 1% of those people end up in the hospital.
And those
But
are people
that's
with,
messaging.
with the comorbidities, the obesity,
Right,
pre-existing conditions.
Oh,
elderly.
yeah.
Dude, I heard the
All
whole
of
thing
it.
about how the idea that they have never once talked about health. They have
No.
never. They could have come
Yeah.
out and had an app, and and said, hey, instead of sending all the shutting it, send an app. Hey, go walking, do this, eat healthier food.
Joe Rogan's been on that for months.
All the things you can do to boost your
He's-
immune system,
Right,
right?
yeah.
To better
And
protect
here's the
you
thing,
if
by
it
the way.
were to happen.
Like the biggest comorbidity, period, end of discussion, is fatness. Being a fat fuck
Right.
is the problem.
Yeah.
If you're fat or if you're old, those are the people that are in trouble.
Yeah.
That's why I'm vaccinated.
So I would love
I'm
to
fat and
know
old.
of those 1%, 0.89%
And the
or
thing-
whatever it
Yeah.
was, have those as compared to,
Yeah.
the
Well,
rest of the.
if it weren't just if it wasn't just power, if they weren't just throwing after power or control, then why? I mean, think about our governor. Never once did she reference, hey, you should go out for a walk. Like, imagine back in March of last year. Why not? Why? I mean, we were told not to. Not only were we told not to go to work, but it was like, don't leave your house.
Yeah.
Why was it not? Go to the parks. These are things you can do. Play soccer with your kid, whatever. You know what I mean? Outside. No. And it's never been mentioned. Not by Fauci, not by Biden. Never once.
Never once. Rogan's really been all over this. Like, hey, look, man, the problem with everything in this country when you're talking about disease is your diet and your health level. And no messaging on a federal level ever
Well, you
about
know what,
that. Like,
though?
go for a fucking walk every day.
Right.
Throw some fruits and vegetables in your diet. Most Americans would go, go fuck yourself. I'm going to McDonald's.
Sure, that's your option.
But that's your option. Yeah.
The Rogan's in tremendous shape and healthy as a horse, and he was got it and was sick for a day.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
But that has no. It's an anomaly. It doesn't have anything to do with
beyond even the
science.
control of the vaccine, dude. I mean, I don't want to go too down that rabbit hole, but beyond even the control with the vaccine, dude, you could go into the money of not even just of the vaccine,
Whoa.
no, but not even just the vaccine money. But I'm talking. You think who fucking pays these people? You think they want people stopping going to McDonald's? They pretend they do. They don't
No,
fucking
of
want
course
it.
not.
There was a time I remember reading this study. You probably knew this, Mike, but there was I think it was like in Alabama or something. They did some study one time where the government spent a bunch of money to try to get people off cigarettes, and then it worked though. And then they realized they weren't getting cigarette tax money, and they kind of backed that. They backed that campaign up. They're like, don't smoke, but it's okay if you do.
The day you fully grasp that the government does not give a flying fuck about you or anything about you, you're in a much better place. Things make a lot more sense when you look at.
They're not there to help you.
No, not
In
at all.
any capacity
their
whatsoever.
programs don't help. They usually just muck shit up. You know, they should be there to defend your borders, protect the citizens, do the roads and bridges, and fuck off.
Yeah.
That's what they're there to do. Their social programs are a disaster almost across the board, in my opinion. And this mandate doesn't make any sense. But you'll still see people walking around in certain areas, New York, California, out for a stroll, no one within 100 miles of them wearing a fucking mask.
Oh, my God. Is that the worst?
Where is the messaging so off base that those people think that they're protecting themselves from something, walking around like an asshole?
Yeah.
You look like a total dipshit.
Car by
walking
yourself,
around.
mask and visor.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I
Seen
saw
it.
one of those the other day.
A double.
Those guys are great drivers, by the way.
Generally.
They drive exactly how I would expect a fucking masked visor wearer to drive.
Yeah.
Like an asshole.
Yeah. As their masks all fogging up.
Yeah.
Mask
What
fogging up
is
the
that?
visor, swerving all over.
So somewhere there is a massive disconnect between the messaging and all you can point to is the media. We know, we've played the stuff. Every single news outlet from ABC, NBC, CNN, MSNBC, CNBC, they're all brought to you by Pfizer. The sports update on Sundays, CBS, brought to you by Pfizer. That's paying the bills.
Yeah.
Those people are getting paid to push this narrative. Bureaucrats
bite
are
the hand that
pushing
feeds
this.
you.
No, hell no. It makes it impossible. The conflict of interest is too great. It just is. I've talked about it here when we've had sponsors that have ended up in the media for some reason, and it's like, just kind of ignore that story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to name names or anything like that, but there's been moments.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell. I'm Ben.
I wasn't even talking about Lindell.
I know, I'm just kidding.
There was a camera found in a bathroom at one of the places, and it hit the fucking local papers hard. It was like, yeah, just take a knee on that story, which I normally would have never taken a knee on.
Yeah.
Never. But that's the influence of, I was very conscious of who was paying the bills.
Of course.
And so that, when you see every news program, all the primetime ones, all the Sunday morning shows brought to you by Pfizer, you get a better understanding of what they're pushing. Yeah. There's a new drug coming out from Merck. I don't know if it's the one that's like ivermectin, but not ivermectin. We changed something so we can charge fucking exorbitant amounts for it. I'm not sure if but it's an antiviral that's coming out. They're trying to get the final approval for that. That should be out in a relatively soon. And they're showing that if taken, they're giving it to elderly right now and people with comorbidities. And if you take this pill twice a day at the first sign of symptoms, it drops dramatically on people having problems, ended up in the hospital, death, that kind of thing. So that's going to get pushed through. And I just noticed one thing on there. So it's a new drug, so it's on patent, and they're going to charge $700 to prescribe this to you. It's a $700 drug. It costs $13 to make.
Yeah.
So, you know, for all the people that think these people want to do good and they're looking out for you.
Where's the regulation on this shit? Man?
Yeah.
It's insane.
When countries announce
They
that,
spent billions developing it.
Right.
So you got to cover those costs.
well, it's an emergency time. Remember, we're in the middle of a pandemic. We're not. We're in an endemic. But you know, the people that said, these vaccines will be given to countries for free. The formula, we're not going to charge, blah 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 blah. And then Bill Gates backed out on that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and said that's not a good idea. And so now they're not free for third world countries and everyone else. They're paying for them. So, yeah, these people are fucking monsters across the board.
Sure.
But, you know, I don't know where the government thinks they're going with this in a good place. But the polling is coming out.
I think the people are starting to speak
Yeah, they are.
in Virginia, in New Jersey, and you're starting to
Texas
see,
and, you know, yeah.
you're starting to see the results of this bullshit.
Well, the pandemic is fading a lot. People are sick of it.
Yeah.
They don't believe the messaging. They don't know what to believe,
Yeah.
which is the real tragedy.
It's a real thing, but it's not. You don't have to, I don't think you have to be afraid for your life. You know.
The number one concern of voters is not COVID. It's the economy and rising inflation is what's going on. Just 12% of adults rated health issues like COVID as a top national priority. They're not going to get the support on this one.
Nope.
12% of people give a shit about it.
That's all they've got. That's all they're hanging on to.
Meanwhile, 2/3 of the country, including a majority of Democrats, Republicans, and independents, say inflation is a very big concern to me. The poll found 73% of adults want political leaders to focus on jobs and economic growth. We were so willing to take seriously the global pandemic, but we're not willing to say, yeah, inflation's a problem and supply chain's a problem and we don't have enough workers in our workforce. This is a Democrat rep, Abigail Spanberger of Virginia, told the New York Times. We gloss over that and only like to admit the problems in spaces we dominate. She also said Biden needs to remember why voters put him in the Oval Office. And that is a very true statement, in my opinion. No one elected him to be FDR. They elected him to be normal and stop the chaos, referring to the sweeping net of social programs he's trying to make into law. Inflation in the U.S. has jumped to a 3-decade high while wages haven't kept pace and prices for food, gas, and rent are all on the rise. Another Democrat from New York.
Meanwhile, let's put a $3 trillion bill through.
Yeah, right?
It's not going to help inflation.
Kathleen Rice, a Democrat from New York, told the Times she fears that Biden's message isn't resonating with voters. I don't understand some of my progressive colleagues saying the vote the other night shows us what we need to do. Get both of these bills done and shove even more progressive stuff in. What we're talking about is not resonating with voters. Virginia voters elected a Republican, Glenn Youngkin, as governor in a state Biden carried by 10 just a year ago. In Jersey, incumbent Governor Phil Murphy barely held on for a second term in a place he carried by 16 points. Former Vice President Biden did.
Yeah.
The president offered a litany of excuses, including the fact that Build Back Better agenda hasn't passed Congress and Donald Trump supporters. God,
Can you
keep just blaming Trump?
keep his name out of your mouth? Do your job. Keep your promises. Do what the fuck you're supposed to do. And that's the problem. I mean, it just people are over the ineptitude and the empty promises and the bullshit that's going on with it.
Yeah.
And all they have right now is mandates and the vaccine and shoving that down your throat, and it's just not working.
I think people aren't going to stand for it.
I don't think so.
I mean,
No.
there's going to have to be a push comes to shove moment, right? Where,
Yeah.
I mean, probably a lot of these people can withstand if they've been planning for this a few weeks, but most people can't go.
You're talking about people
months.
losing their jobs, their livelihoods over this.
Right.
You know, I mean, that's not something you can just overcome.
Mayor, the shittiest mayor in the history of this country, Bill de Blasio in New York City. The shittiest mayor in the history of this country in any fucking city. He was on with Joe Scarborough talking about how, the 20,000 firefighters don't want to get the vax and blah, blah, blah. And Scarborough just says, fire all of them. Just fire them.
Yeah.
It's like,
Brilliant. Fantastic.
great idea.
Yeah.
Great idea.
Just keep burning the base.
Now they've got, sanitation workers. So the people, you've been in New York. T, I don't know if you've been there, but
Since I was a kid.
Not since you were a kid, but do you remember the garbage bags on the streets?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, that's kind of a New York thing. Like, everyone just there's no room. The places are so tiny in most places. So the garbage is just out on the street, and then they come through and pick it up. But there's, a couple days a week where it's just fucking mountains.
Yeah, I think
on
they
the
just
sidewalk.
run nonstop. And when it was working well, they would just run nonstop. And one, there'd be a few, 24 hours, I almost feel like, probably just clearing off different blocks. And, yeah.
Snow removal's a real problem
Right.
because they don't have any place to put the snow.
Right.
It's just bury cars. It's
right. Where's it
it's
gonna
a
go?
shit show.
They need flamethrowers.
Right?
Just melt the shit.
Right. I don't know if that would help with the garbage as much, but the snow it would.
No.
I don't think the
you can burn the
environmentalists
garbage
like
too,
that.
E. Come on, think
Yeah.
outside the box.
Yeah.
Incinerate that shit.
Don't they just take it to Staten Island? Just ferry it over there? But either way, they don't have the workers. They've just fucking laid them all off or sent them
Dude,
all
I am
home.
so fucking glad. Because I wanted to live in New York even. So
Yeah.
I am so glad I went a few times in the last year. Like when I was old, older and got to go to clubs and really experience it.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I'm sad, man. I
Yeah.
loved going there. And now
It was so much fun, dude. We had so much fun.
Oh, yeah, we
kicking
walked-
around the city and seeing everybody.
Yeah.
and, I mean,
Love it.
it's great. It's a different vibe for sure.
Yeah.
And it's just constant car horns and fucking foot traffic.
shit
and
show.
It's wild, but shit's open till 4 a.m. and like everything's alive and active.
Yeah.
When I was talking to Landau about, I mentioned this, I think, but I was talking to him about going out and doing Kumia's show again, and he was like, "Bro, I wouldn't." He's like, "Honestly, I don't think it's smart to go to New York City right now.
Yeah.
It's just so dangerous. There's dead bodies on the streets." He said, "I've literally seen dead bodies in the streets. It's an absolute mental case."
That's such a bummer, man.
It's such a bummer.
Dude, like I said, honestly, if I'd had I know it takes millions to do it, but I had that dream mildly that maybe someday I could just like do it, like get a squeaky little, closet.
Yeah,
and
you
live
could
in
do that
Manhattan
for
or whatever.
$50,000 a month.
Right, I know,
Yeah,
right?
easy
But like,
peasy.
that's
problem.
boys, that's how much I enjoyed it. I liked that freaking nonstop atmosphere. And
I think it would get old after
sure
a
it
while.
would. I'm
but
sure it would.
As you
Nice
got
place
older,
to visit, as they say.
Yeah. No doubt about it. And you don't want to be in your room. The rooms are so tiny. I had to open the fucking shower door to brush my teeth in the mirror when I was there.
yeah, no, I
It's-
get it. You're right.
Every video I see is some shit show on the fucking subway. So
Oh.
I can't even imagine
I never had an
doing
issue,
that
yeah.
all day, every day, to and from wherever I'm going.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I just can't imagine. Give me my car, my own shit, my own music.
Well, you know what
Yeah,
I used to
yeah.
say,
Meet
Troy, to
people.
people is like, honestly, like I'm so weird that like I liked, like some people don't like that. There's so many people. It's not really humanity. I'm so weird in my own head that like when there's that many people, I felt like I could be totally lost and no one gives a fuck who you are. Like, you could be Seinfeld and walking around New York and some people aren't going to fucking know who you are.
Yeah.
So my point was that's what I always liked about it. I liked the absolute like,
It's gritty as hell.
Yeah.
It's grimy and dirty. The streets are dirty. The restaurant floors are filthy. Like
Give me
it's
peace and
it's-
quiet, man. Fuck that.
Yeah, you'd like it though, Troy. There's a lot going on. You're an active guy. You like going out and doing stuff. There's always something to do there. It's like Vegas.
Sure.
So,
but yeah, I mean, dude,
garbage
glad I
is
went when I
piling
could.
up. Yeah. Garbage is absolutely piling up across New York City. It's about 1,440 of the city's 7,200 sanitation workers. Nearly 20% are placed on administrative leave for not complying with mayor dipshits' vaccine
This is such
mandate
an interesting
for
thing.
municipal workers.
By the way, when you think about it, when the left, we used to talk about it with cancellation and the left eating itself. It's this, like, honest to God, if you were there and the ones you're talking about, the one that's walking through Central Park and no one's around him, but he's still wearing a mask.
Yeah.
Do they sit there and go, "This is fine, this is okay"? This, you know what I'm
Less
saying?
and
Or-
less of them are saying that.
That's what
And
I
the,
wonder.
the
when
fact is, the truth is going to come out, and then you'll see that I was right all along about Fauci. You guys will get there. A lot of you will get there. But
Let's hope.
about
Let's
these
hope.
mandates, there's a lot of us who have been saying, Troy included, for a long time, that this isn't right. And we've fought with family members.
Yeah.
We've argued with a lot of people about, this messaging is so bad and is so politicized and so weaponized. You just don't want to give government bodies this kind of authority to get in your business like this.
Mm-hmm.
You don't. When they get that power, they don't give that power up. They just don't, because
Freaking that door open.
Today it's this. What is it tomorrow that's a little even worse? What is it tomorrow that they feel like, well, precedent's been set. We've got this fucking OSHA program that was set up for, to deal with asbestos workers we're dealing with in an emergency. That's all we're going to use it for. That's all. Well, now you've twisted and found a fucking way. Well, we're reading you story after story after story that says none of this makes sense. This is not about health policy. It's not. They don't give a shit about you. Otherwise, their messaging would be totally different. Eat an apple. Go for a walk.
Yeah.
Get outside.
Right.
Be active.
Now, all of a sudden, they have your best interest in heart.
Yeah. Bullshit.
Come on.
So, as of yesterday, 23% of the FDNY's 11,000 firefighters are still not vaccinated, and few have been given religious or medical exemptions, meaning 2,530 who haven't had the shots cannot report for duty. So those guys are posting pictures of themselves being turned away from work. They want to work. They want to go in.
Yeah.
2,300 are on sick leave. So they found a loophole to get around, like, you can't not pay me.
Yeah.
You can't just send me home and not pay me. And de Blasio is fucking fuming
Good. Fuck
over
him.
this. Yeah. He says they're faking.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He says they're faking sick.
What a blasphemous.
No way.
The union's coming out going, hey, fuck you, man. This is a very dangerous job. These guys get hurt all the time. How dare you claim they're being
Right.
They're faking. Blasio's like, ooh, you rascals win this round.
They're faking.
Haven't heard the last of me.
Why would he even get to the point where he said that? As if he doesn't fucking know what's going on.
Right.
You know what? I think they're faking it. Like,
Something,
Yeah.
something doesn't
something's
sound
up
right.
here.
Yeah, earlier on Wednesday, de Blasio threatened to fire the firefighters who have called out sick since the mandate took effect, accusing them of faking illness to avoid getting the shots and avoid losing their pay.
Troy, I felt very appropriate, by the way, in my Joker outfit to be like, I think something's up. I think
Yeah.
they're faking it.
You're missing
you'd
the
fit-
makeup.
I know.
You'd fit in well in Gotham.
Right.
Yes,
For sure.
no
You really
doubt.
would.
He's more of a Riddler.
Yeah.
Joker to
for
me.
sure. Yeah, that's a good point.
We've got firefighters who are faking sick leave and
Although
leaving
you sound
fellow,
like the Penguin.
leaving, leaving fellow firefighters in the lurch and creating a danger that is unconscionable. And they will face consequences for what they have done. De Blasio's blaming these heroes. They've never been regarded as anything but heroes.
Especially in New York.
Talking about the fire department of New York.
Like,
Literally,
They're not
so-
beating up people. All they do
what have you
is
done for
rush
me
into
lately?
data. Oh,
What have you done for me lately?
What they're doing to fellow firefighters is unconscionable, and they will pay the consequences.
Never mind, by the
What?
way, they worked the entire all of last year without a vaccine.
Yeah.
So do we even see if any of them have already gotten COVID,
Right.
for
No, that
example?
A
doesn't
lot
matter.
of them got COVID.
That's my
Tons
point.
of them
Yeah,
have.
And
of course.
exactly what are they doing again? Remind me.
Right.
What exactly are they doing to the other firefighters?
To the what?
To the other police and firefighters? What are they doing?
What do you mean?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Right.
Nothing.
right,
They're
right.
not doing a fucking thing. Is
No.
the point?
Yeah.
They're no higher risk than anybody else.
Nope.
Shut it.
So De Blasio, they've got this is where Joe Scarborough encouraged him to fire all 26,000 city workers who still haven't gotten the shot. Nice call, Joe. Fucking asshole. Yeah, just fire them all. Yeah, that's not someone's livelihood, family. Right at the holidays too. Great. Start of the holidays. Let's fire all of them.
We have a workforce shortage of epic proportions right now, and let's just keep firing people because fuck 'em,
Right,
that's
right.
why. Hey, maybe they'll start working in restaurants and we can get
Yeah.
Right?
getting our food
Dude,
shit
it's
better.
It's unbelievable. Didn't you run into something the other day, T? Was it Taco Bell or something?
Yeah, I tried to stop at a Taco Bell on the way home. And a line at Taco Bell is not anything new, but
No.
I stopped at one and it was literally around the building all the way out to the main street. I was like, yeah, fuck that. I got another one I'll go to.
Closed?
I came
Was it
around
closed?
that. It was closed.
Yep.
A Friday night
Yep.
at 9:45.
Wow.
It was a fucking Taco Bell. Was
Yeah.
closed.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been
they're
saying
all
it
over,
since,
dude.
I was saying it for months and months that this is the worst part of this fucking epidemic.
Yeah.
Pandemic, endemic, whatever you want to call it. But the food shortage,
Yeah.
the service industry shortage is it's not being addressed, and it's a real problem.
Yeah, I was
And not
at
just
a,
because I can't get my Taco Bell on a Friday night. I mean, bigger picture.
Yeah.
Across the
Oh,
board.
yeah, yeah.
You know.
This is the new
I
normal.
was at a Mexican restaurant the other day with my mom, and they've got a sticker on the menu that says
Please be.
says prices may
Oh.
vary
Yeah.
based on supply shortages.
Yeah, that's the new normal.
This where we can say that this taco is $3.99. We can't say that now.
Yeah.
So we'll let you know what the fucking bill is, basically. And they've just got a sticker on the menu, and I don't blame them.
Nope.
You know, what are you going to do? And
That's not that restaurant. That is not that
of course
restaurant.
not.
Dude.
It's a great restaurant.
Yeah.
And it does really well. But, you know, Troy and I went to Wahlburgers. Friday night, 7 o'clock, their bar's closed.
Royal Oak.
Yeah.
Royal Oak on a was it a Friday or Saturday?
It was a Friday night.
Friday night.
Yeah.
7 o'clock.
Carry out only.
Oh, I don't assume anything's open anymore
It's
after
nuts.
7.
I mean,
for
how
sure.
It's a
do
real
you-
problem.
How do you expect that establishment to survive without being able to have their bar open on a Friday night in Royal Oak?
But let's just keep firing people because they're not getting the fucking jab.
Yeah, which doesn't protect anybody but themselves, anyways. And here's the other thing I don't
Fake
understand:
news.
for liberals that are pushing this and are agreeing with these draconian mandates and shit, and I've questioned some of them, and they've admitted, I wish all Republicans would die. They don't give a fuck. Most liberals despise people on the right.
Yeah.
They hate them, hate them, hate them. So why, if you know the vaccine only protects yourselves, I would think you would want everybody on the right to not be vaccinated.
Yeah.
If you really believe that it was 50% of them are ending up in the hospital if they get COVID, and a lot of those people are going to die, you should be encouraging people. You already hate those people anyways.
They're just Trumpers.
They're
I
just
heard-
Trumpers, all Trumpers. The problem is 72% of young African Americans in New York City are unvaccinated and don't want anything to do with it. They go, yeah, Tuskegee. No, I don't trust the government.
Yeah.
I don't trust them.
Right. for
There's
sure.
a lot of minority communities.
They don't talk about that,
Black
by the
Lives
way.
Matter is on the record saying this is bullshit. This is unconstitutional. We don't want this mandate.
They don't talk about that.
No,
No,
they act like
no.
it's the Trumpers. It's the far right,
Right.
that's driving this.
You know when you say, by the way, when you say like they actually want like Republicans, like legitimately, they
Legit. Oh, yeah.
I heard
No, I've
some-
asked some liberal friends, and
Right.
they're like, yeah, all you fuckers should drop.
I heard someone else say this once, and I thought it made me think of it when you said that. And it's like people, and I feel like in this room, we tend to think some of these people we disagree with, we think they're mostly like good people, bad ideas.
Yeah.
They think we are just bad fucking people
Yeah.
and don't deserve shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is a big fucking dare. You know, all the people that I disagree with, look at what we're all talking about here. All the people, even the people that agree with the mandate, I still feel like, okay, that's their thing. I think they're wrong, but I would never sit there and be like, I can't have a beer with that person, or I can't watch the Pistons game. They will not feel that way.
True.
And that's
No.
too bad.
I've lost some lifelong friendships.
Isn't that crazy?
over this
It's
for
crazy.
no,
and not on your
no
end,
real
right?
reason.
Not on your end.
Not mine.
It's them saying, right.
Totally fine.
Right.
No,
Why
the
can't
amount
they
of
sit
people
there?
that have said, you'll never interview Mike Lindell again, or blah, blah. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Why? Because you don't agree with him politically? Who is he influencing?
Here's the fun. I mean,
What is-
I've
what
never
is the
even
problem?
been. I've never even been like pro-Trump. Not even a
Right,
little
that's the
bit.
thing. You're not a guy that
Not-
walks
Not
around-
at all. I don't own a MAGA hat. I don't.
Right.
You know, not at all. But it's a scary.
I've told this to
scary
Mike
time.
before,
Yeah.
man. When I've gotten in some of those, and I've stopped completely now. But last year, I had a few times where I still was kind of ruffling the feathers a little bit. But like, dude, I would tell these people I didn't even vote for Trump. I've had times before where I've said to someone, I didn't vote for Trump the second time. I wore my mask. I got my shot. But I still am against the mandate, and they're still just, nope, you're wrong. You're an asshole. Die.
Yeah.
It's
Die.
like,
Drop dead.
Okay. Like,
Firefighters, you know, de Blasio saying we're not seeing any noticeable impact. Response times for first responders continue to be strong and where we need them to be. We're seeing no disruption to service. Firehouses are open. Everything's moving forward.
25% of the force.
Yeah. So
I guess
then
you
it
didn't need
sounds
them anyway.
like
Why
Quarter
you
of the
didn't need
force
that?
gone. No,
Yeah.
no issues. Oh, yeah, I'm sure that's fucking true.
why did you even
Firefighters-
have them in the first place?
Firefighters on the ground say the city is deliberately concealing response times and the total number of
really?
workers on unpaid leave
Shocking.
to avoid panicking New Yorkers.
As if they-
Hold on. Firefighters across the city are furious with de Blasio and accuse him of treating them like second-class citizens. Gary DBS, who served for 29 years, he was one of the ones at 9/11 walking over dead fucking bodies and probably will get cancer at some point because of being in that muck for as long as he was. I want to go back, but I don't want a shot. We're in a position where we can go without for a few more weeks. Forcing someone to take a vaccine is coercion. I'll absolutely go back to work if they let me. You can't even sit down to eat. We made a sandwich at home because we can't even sit in any of these places. We'll eat it on the ferry on the way home. We're treated like second-class citizens. Nobody wants to go home. In the end, if we don't win this fight, they will do whatever they want from now on. Mandates will be the new norm. Now you do this, now you do that. There's no COVID emergency right now. There's nobody getting sick. 19 months, my wife was doing sonograms. Now she's a danger to the public. We both had COVID in August of this year. His wife, Anna, added, I don't like anyone telling me what to do. I was never afraid of COVID in the first place. Right there with her.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that's whatever. That's fine. You know, by the way, when they say they're hiding the numbers, as if you live in a city like that, New York especially, and you don't notice that if there's a fire or something, that instead of being there in 5 minutes, they're there in 45 minutes, an hour, or whatever it is.
It's already burned to the ground.
Right. Like you can't.
Yeah, it's ugly. Part of me just goes, nah, keep going. This is great. You're doubling down on this. Yeah. The shellacking that took place in the races. You're trying to spin this like we didn't go hardcore left enough. Yeah. We need to go harder. Like okay,
perfect.
Good luck with that.
Actually, that's the best. That's the best case scenario
because that's uniting.
Yeah.
The people that took a knee on the last election, which was white people, by the way, suburban, educated white males, really, was what lost Trump that election more than anything.
Worst case scenario is that
Trump
they
lost
figure
his
it
own
out,
election.
But I mean, whatever Trump did, those people didn't come out like they should have, like they did
white guilt
in the past.
Well, again, I blame Trump for that, but whatever. That's not the point. What I was going to.
It's a totally different argument.
I understand. What I was going to say when you talk about some of this stuff, like you just keep going, because I agree with you on that. And the other aspect I agree on, dude, is you know what, man. I feel sorry for younger kids. I got to live in the amazing America. I personally have lived a very great life. Yeah. You know what? Be careful what you wish for. That's what I keep thinking to some of my friends, dude.
Yeah.
You know what? It's going to suck. I'm not going to like it if it goes the way I think it's going. But you know what, dude? I'll be there to say be careful what you wish for, man. You want the social... You want Venezuela up here? Go ahead, man. Have fun.
Yeah.
You get it. If you want it, you can have it.
Not good.
You want to do a read?
I'd fucking love to do a read.
All right. Look at you.
Hey,
little
get my glasses, old man. Hey, you know how much money you're going to need in retirement?
Nope. No clue.
Are you sure you're not going to outlive your money?
Nope.
Hey, having a plan today means you can adjust as your life changes. Retirement doesn't have to be a mystery. Contact Mark and Jay at LPL Financial today to learn the answer to one of life's most important questions for retirement. Call 248-626-2000 and again, ask for Mark or Jay.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC.
And I trust those guys with my money too. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're the best. Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yeah.
Familiar with Kyle Rittenhouse?
Yeah, it's the kid that did some shooting up there in Wisconsin.
Kenosha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how do we feel about Kyle?
I have no idea about the story, to be honest with you. But
really?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, he was in the riots, and then he, the young kid that shot, he got attacked, and then he shot, and then
yes, I remember. You know what? I just didn't remember the name, and I don't
want to get too deep into the details on it. But
no, I remember
his
now.
Trial,
that was enough.
Yeah.
He shot 3 people.
Yeah.
Killed 2, shot 1 in the bicep. That trial's going on now.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch the media coverage, he's a white supremacist, Nazi, blah, 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 all this stuff. It's not based much in reality at all, but it'll be interesting to see how this case plays out because they're already threatening, which is, in my opinion, jury tampering. When you're making threats like if he's found not guilty, there's going to be riots in the streets. Well,
that's kind of the way the last
Derek
one
Chauvin
went.
Yeah.
You better find him guilty, or this town's going to burn down.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
What
are we going to do here? I'm not saying he was or he wasn't. I'm just saying that's a fucked up premise before a trial.
Yeah. A lot of people can point to what the fuck was he doing there anyways? He didn't live in Kenosha.
No.
What's he going into the heart of that area with a gun? He was going, and there's video of this before everything happened, that he was going there to protect businesses.
Yeah.
And there's something very patriotic about.
Well, careful with that word.
Yeah. About about recognizing. Is nobody going to do anything about this? We're just going to let the whole fucking city burn. Really?
Yeah.
They're trying to blow up a gas station with a dumpster fire, pushing it into the gas station. They tried to blow up the fucking courthouse.
Not an insurrection, by the way. None of that.
None of that was an insurrection. They tried to blow up that courthouse that they're having the trial in right now. They tried to torch that fucking courthouse.
We
in
don't want
Kenosha.
to talk about that.
So, the property damage, you can pull up the videos. The auto yard, the car dealer or whatever, they lit on fire, all the cars ablaze. And so there were people like
To stand,
Kyle.
come out to defend.
I'm here to protect this business.
Yeah.
I've got
This
protection.
community.
He had a medical kit. He was claiming to be
like a
medically
medic,
trained
right.
to help people. There's video of him running around trying to help people.
Yeah.
Literally while he's being filmed on video, running after people like, this guy needs a medic. I got stuff. And, people attacked him. That's where I'm trying to remember exactly what sparked that riot. Was it Aubrey? The guy who
No, that wasn't Aubrey. No, what was his name? Because it was in Kenosha, wasn't it?
Yes.
That's Aubrey was in Atlanta or whatever.
Jacob Blake.
Blake. Yeah. Thank you.
He's a black man killed by a white cop. If you know the story on Jacob Blake, he went and raped his wife against an existing restraining order. The cop showed up, ordered him to stand down, and he kept walking around the car, went to the front seat, grabbed a knife out. You can see in his hand, and that's when they fired.
Yeah. Well,
So-
you don't shoot him because he has a knife.
Okay.
Fuck, you don't.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Bullshit. I don't even think did they kill him? Was that
I don't actually remember.
I think he killed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they killed him.
right over police shoot? No, I think it was just shooting. I think he's paralyzed.
Oh,
think he's in a wheelchair.
yeah. I think. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. Yeah, he
And
did
there's the video of all that with them
right.
telling him. I'm trying not to paint this because a part of me goes, you know what, kid, what are you doing there? You're 17 years old. But, if you're watching your neighboring city burn like that, there's something like, I'm going to go help. I'm going to protect this business and nobody's going to loot this damn store. And then he's getting chased down the street and someone sucker punches him. He goes down, shoots the guy who's coming at him still,
Yep.
and then runs back around the car to check on the guy. And then they were like, that's him. He's a fucking murderer. They started
attacked him.
chasing him down the street. And so he's still got the gun. He's running. Someone sucker punches him from behind. He doesn't go down. Another guy comes up to him. One of the guys that was shot, I think, in the bicep, comes running after him, swings a skateboard at him, hits him in the head. He does go down, starts to come down. One of them had a gun. There was a shot that was fired, not Kyle first, okay? It's important, too. While all this is going on,
Yeah.
someone else pulls out a pistol and fires. So at this point, there's a mob coming after him. Gunshots go off, and he's like, and shoots one of them dead. One of them had a gun in his hand, was going to execute Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yeah.
Period. He was going to execute Kyle Rittenhouse. And so, these videos aren't out there very much. No one's breaking them down frame by frame.
Right. I remember seeing that there was somebody else with a gun that he had shot,
Yeah.
but that they don't ever want to talk about that.
Yeah. He shot him in the arm and then the gun just kind of hangs there.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that strength anymore than once he gets
Can't
shot
get
in
it
the
up.
arm to get that
Just
thing
switch
up.
hands.
So, I don't know how this plays out. His
It will be
family's
interesting.
upbeat. He was accused of being a white supremacist, of being in a militia, of answering a call to arms. None of that was true from the very beginning, but it didn't stop the media from perpetuating the same story about him being associated with some extremist group. It's just factually untrue. So, it comes down to who do you believe
Yeah.
in this? The trial is going on, opening arguments, blah, blah, blah.
There'll be a lot to come out of this. And,
Yeah.
and you're going to get all the real videos, the real stories. That's what's going to come out of this. How much it's covered on both sides, we'll see.
That's the problem. I think we are at such a spot right now where the truth doesn't matter.
No.
And so I can look at those videos frame by frame, and it paints a pretty clear picture about what was going on. When he did shoot, he immediately ran. He was trying to get to the end of the block where the lights were, where the cops were.
Yep.
So the cops were not going into this hot mess area, but they were on the outside with SWAT vans and the whole works. He was trying to get there when he fell. And the guy took a swing at him with the skateboard. The guy pulled a gun, and he pointed his gun down. Kyle did, When that guy pointed a gun at his head, he fucking pulled up and shot. So, immediately he finished that run. Their hands up, said, I just shot someone. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. The cops were like freaking out. I mean, like that video's out there. You can watch it.
Oh, yeah.
You can see how that all unfolded. You can argue, was it a stupid idea going there, blah, blah, blah. But
they're going to paint him as that was his motive. That was his intention.
Yeah.
He went there to go kill somebody. That's why he went there with a gun, was with the sole purpose of killing somebody.
yeah,
That's what they're going to paint it as.
it's not something we would have been doing at 17,
You know-
looking out for our community.
You never know.
think-
I mean, I'm not going to say 100% no. I'm really
Yeah.
not. Depending on the situation and what was going
might be
on,
right,
I
T.
might be on that side of it. I would be on that side of it before I would be burning the fucking place down. I promise you that.
100%.
You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
So
There's video of him. He was a lifeguard.
yeah,
So he's kind of got that.
he was
civil
cleaning up the
duty,
graffiti and
cleaning
all
up
the
graffiti.
bullshit, stuff like that. I mean,
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out.
I think it doesn't matter. I think it doesn't matter. The people that believe X believe it.
Yeah.
And it's
There is
over.
no changing their mind.
There's
It
no,
doesn't matter.
There's no rational.
Just
you
like
know,
you said,
like nobody's
you
going
can
to look at the evidence and
he
change
either
their
went
mind.
there to kill somebody or he went there with good intentions, and there's no in between.
Thank God, the two people he killed and the third guy he shot are all white, and he's white.
Who
if
dodged
he'd-
that bullet?
Because if he'd have shot a protest, and I believe one of them was convicted of child rape, one
Okay.
of the ones that was shot and killed, but fucking a little boy.
Doing God's work.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Rittenhouse, not the other
The butt
guy.
fucking?
No, that's the priest work.
Okay. Right.
That's the fucking white dude, bald guy that he was shot. I believe he was shot and killed. I don't think he was the injured one. But yeah, was convicted.
The injured guy was the
Butt
one with
fucking
the,
a child,
with a
so.
gun, wasn't that? Wasn't he the one that took it in the arm, or did he take it in the chest?
Yeah, took in the arm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, well,
So we'll see how that goes.
keep an eye on it
it's-
going forward.
It's
just
unfolding.
getting started.
But I really believe it doesn't matter. You're going to have riots regardless.
Probably not. Yeah, it's
but
going to be
it's-
a lot like the Minnesota. It's going to be a lot
Yeah.
like that, to where there's going to be too much outside pressure.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter.
Yep.
What the again, I'm not saying with Chauvin one way or the other. I'm not making a judgment. I'm just saying that wasn't a fucking fair trial.
No.
Period.
No, it
End of
wasn't.
story. They didn't stand a chance.
No.
You know.
And you know what? The jury tampering there was very clear.
Very clear.
The media stuff, the stuff that was in the papers, like they knew who these jurors were. Those people were going to be doxxed. And think about that. If you're doing your civic duty and you go to jury duty and you're supposed to listen to all the facts that come in and make a judgment on someone's life, that would be in the back of your head that I have two fucking kids
Yeah.
in school.
Right.
That
They know who I am.
I don't need my house being firebombed because these people don't agree with what we learned in the jury box, which is way more than you're going to learn from reading the newspapers or watching CNN or Fox News. You're never going to get the information that they get. And so, for this one, this is such a hotbed. I don't know how you even keep this in Kenosha. That you would think a mistrial. That's jury tampering already.
Right, yeah.
When
Before
you're
it even
doing
starts.
that, those people on the jury know with certainty that people are eyeballing you and just waiting for you to dare not convict him and throw him in prison for the rest of his life.
Yep.
They're just waiting for it.
Fear mongering.
So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Anyway, we should wrap up. T, we gotta me, you, and Touche are going to a
Yeah.
movie,
I wanted
wanna
to check
see,
out a Doors concert.
a Doors concert.
yeah.
Yeah,
Looking forward to it, actually. Pretty excited.
yeah.
We're
Should
going
be
to
good.
break on through, go hang out with the Lizard King.
Hell yeah. All right, couple emails. Hey, Mike, good to hear your voice again. I'm glad you're doing well. Thanks for the Freezeworth. Strangely, your newest episode is the best one yet. It's almost as if something was missing and it was a vast improvement.
Well, don't worry. That's coming.
With love, Bone Job. He's your nemesis, E. You can't take that personally. It's
Oh, I don't take it personally. And don't worry, you'll get those episodes.
Low hanging fruit.
Yeah, maybe he was talking about Trav.
Maybe.
He could have been.
Travis was here that day, though.
But,
You're
he,
no-
but
you're
he
late
could have
at-
emailed this the day before. It got
I
hung
doubt
up
it.
and didn't
Okay,
get through.
well,
we don't know.
Maybe.
I'll
Maybe he
assume-
hates Travis more than
Maybe.
he hates you.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Well,
don't
like
know.
I said, careful what you wish for. No.
Newest episode is the best one yet. It's almost as if something was missing, and it was a vast improvement. Winky face. So, yeah. We don't know. I can't say. He
see.
didn't name
Jury's
names.
still out.
I don't know. It's great hearing you guys again. This is from Ron. Mike, you sound sharp. Big E, not much has changed. You still talk over Mike. And T. Roy, well, he's the man as usual.
Hey,
You're the man.
I'll take that. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Appreciate it.
So, T-Roy at yahoo.com.
Oh shit!
jeez.
God damn it! You
you
weren't
send
supposed
this-
to. No, I
So
thought
it's a Yahoo account.
my AOL.
All right, everybody. Have a good weekend, good rest of the day and night. Thank you for hanging out with us. Hi, Cece. Ho, ho, ho. We should put Cece on cam. She had a big day
She
yesterday.
was whimpering on the show the other night and had told me Bogey, my dog, heard it.
Yeah.
She was listening to it and started freaking out, running around looking for
Really?
Cece. Yeah,
Dude,
Say, they're the best friends ever.
It's funny when I FaceTime with my brother and Amanda and Marshall, you know, because they want updates on Cece.
Yeah.
And so when she was 8 weeks old, she was playing with Shelby, who was a full-grown Aussie Shepherd. And so, you know, I'll put the camera and then just instinctively I'll go, "Hi, Cece," and Shelby just comes flying from the other room like, "Where is she?
Where?
Where is
Show
she?"
me.
It's like,
Play.
nope, sorry, she gone. She gone.
All right,
So,
let's get out of
all
here.
right, let's get out of here. Have a good one, everybody.